Uh-oh.
Detroit.
Mikhailo, questionable.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. I just
What
need
do
to
you
see
mean
if
you don't
Reggie.
care about that? If he's out, that's huge. It's
No, it's
27 minutes.
cool. The Tony Snell and
Okay.
Thon Make.
If Tony Snell, if Tony Snell's playing 34 minutes, I'm starting him. So.
Well, a Windu's starting now because
Oh boy.
so
Don't get
if
me
you want,
excited. Is
no, I didn't
Fournier is
understand.
out?
No,
Okay.
Birch is out. Where's Poole? Come on, Reggie. When are you out, bub? I think he's gonna play. I don't see why he doesn't play. Pretty sure that back-to-back he
What's
said
going
was
on,
like
Paul? What's going on?
right when he came back. Uh, oh yeah, Burks is gonna be very nice, especially if he starts like that. Now I gotta do Orlando now.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? We'll get started in just a few moments here. I'm just giving everybody a chance to join.
So Birch out, a Windu starting at 3K. Oh no.
Fournier is starting. What's going on, guys? How are we doing today? I'm doing great. Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday, and the Monday after is always fun, right? Because we all have to go to work.
No, it's not. I'm tired, miserable.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We just got a lot of injury news we needed to dissect, so we'll do that with you guys on stream. Don't worry.
Marker, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, man. Pump plays. That's what it is. Back to my guy Vince tonight too. Let's get it.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite things to do in all of DFS is just play a ton of pump plays and then come back with studs. I can't tell you how many times I've done that this year. So yeah, our pump plays need to be on point.
It's all about the pump plays. Hold on, let me actually, if you're gonna talk, that's fine. I'm doing Augustine.
Talk real quick. Guys, can you let me know if the frames on the live stream are skipping at all? It just gave me a warning sign. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if you can hear TJ. Before I start here, have a couple of announcements. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a second. Can you guys give me a mic check in the chat here? Just let me know if it's okay.
Mike. Can someone put my snare on? Okay, snare's on.
Thank you, Angela, for the subscription. Really appreciate it.
Anker's talking up Vince in the chat because that was my huge pump play the other night.
Yeah.
And he actually played minutes, and he was he actually finished 5 times value, and he was 0-4 from 3. He hits 2 threes, man.
Vince Carter. Vince Carter's known for hitting threes now. That's crazy. All right. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Bruce Brown Day for everybody. Let's go ahead and get started here. So last night we had a lot of success. We broke down the 3-game slate. We were overweight on people like James Harden and Terrence Davis at 4%. Can you believe it, TJ? And that's what catapulted me all the way up to a GBP 5th place finish. I was so close to first place, but Sadaransky could not get it done. I saw me and TJ were bouncing around there in the top. He happened to enter the exact same contest I did. But nonetheless, our cash lineup actually went nuts. It was like, what, 300 points? Is that what it finished with?
Yeah, Serge didn't play the 4th, so.
Yeah.
But he was super chalk, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, we've been on absolute fire. I mean, hopefully you guys have been taking some of the plays that we recommend. And again, this is what it's all about, joining the stream for the edge. And guys, I just hope that you stay along for the ride. With all that being said, guys, merchandise will be rolling out this week. Very excited. TJ's going to actually get into designing tonight, I believe. So Yeah, later this week is when we should have a couple designs rolled out for you guys. Again, that merchandise link will be posted in all of our descriptions for all of our videos and here on the live stream description. So, I know this is a huge slate. It's 10 games, and I think I'm echoing on your screen, TJ. Do you have me muted?
Do I have you muted? No. Yeah.
You don't have me muted? I can hear myself.
I do not have you muted. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, we're good. All right. So, yeah, I hear you. It's annoying. Mute me or turn me down somewhere.
Okay.
Echo. I can still hear me. Why can't I hear me?
Because your voice is so beautiful, you want to hear it twice.
All right, let me just back off then. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this 10-game slate, guys. So let's go ahead and start with the chalk. TJ, I'm going to go ahead and just start talking about the... I guess we can start anywhere. Let's start with Detroit. You want to start with... Or are we still pinning injury news there?
No, don't start for Detroit.
Let's go Boston then. Let's go Boston.
Detroit.
I want to talk about your boys in Boston here. So as we know, Kemba Walker and Marcus Smart is rolled out for Detroit for Boston. Goodness, I can't talk. So for Boston, so we have after values. I was talking about this in the Discord chat. Really, not too much is happening here. I'm kind of underwhelmed. I know it's a high over under here, but Jason Tatum got a huge boost in usage, and I'll give him that. I like the usage boost with Jason Tatum, and I believe it was Gordon Hayward that got the 5% boost. Pretty cool. But one thing I noticed is that he actually went down in fantasy point per minute output, which I kind of made the assumption that really the offense kind of struggles without Kemba or Smart. And I don't know if that's just me, overthinking a little bit, but it did kind of go down. The fantasy point per minute output did go down. So, not that I think this is bad chalk, but I do think there's a lot of plays on the slate that do match the value here in Boston. What are your thoughts? I kind of want to get your overview of the Celtics.
Yeah. So Hayward gets a 5.3% usage bump. Jalen 3.8% usage bump. Tatum 7.2% usage bump. All of them north of a 1 fantasy point per minute. Nothing too crazy that pops out on the sheet, but I definitely like these guys in this pace-up spot against Atlanta, who's the 4th fastest pace team at home. So this is definitely a good spot for the Celtics. I don't necessarily know how chalky they'll be in terms of cash. I definitely think Tatum and Jaylen Brown will be the two that carry a fair deal of ownership tonight. Jaylen being 7,600 and Tatum being 7,500. I really like Hayward as a GPP play. In these situations, Hayward will kind of act more of the facilitator of those three because I know Brad Wanamaker will start. I'm not taking Brad Wanamaker in cash. I've watched Brad Wanamaker play for the last couple of years. He is not very efficient when he's on the court, averages 0.71 fantasy points per minute with Smart and Kemba off the court. So I understand the price tag at 3,600 and the minutes are there. I'll definitely have him in GPPs, but I don't think he's going to make my cash lineup tonight. I think there's a lot of better value elsewhere. But I'm definitely intrigued by Hayward and GPPs because of that usage bump. And like I said, he'll look to be the facilitator tonight, especially in this up-pace game. So I definitely like Hayward. I think Jalen and Tatum are good cash plays. I don't think they're 100% necessary, but if I land on one of them, I definitely do not hate it because I definitely love this matchup against Atlanta. And if Trae Young is in, which he's probable, I look for Atlanta to hopefully keep this close, especially since the Celtics are missing 2 of their potential starting guards. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking right now for the Celtics. I don't know what Kanter's minute restriction might be coming back from injury. So he rates out pretty well on our sheet. If he gets 20 minutes, I don't hate him as a punt GPP play. I don't think I'll do anything crazy with him because I don't see him getting too many minutes. But obviously the Atlanta Bigs aren't very good defensively. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. I think Jalen and Tatum are definitely cash viable. I like Hayward as a GPP play. And if I land on Jalen or Tatum in cash, I don't hate it.
Yeah, keep in mind, all these guys are very low owned. So I think the general public is kind of thinking the same. There's just so much value in all these other games. It's going to be hard to get to these guys. So yeah, I kind of agree with you here as GPP options. Now, when he says Gordon Hayward's a good GPP play, he's also tagged here at 4%. So we're not saying go wild and if you play MME, go 50% on him. But we're saying have a decent amount of exposure to them so that you're overweight on the field. Again, he's only 4%. So Gordon Hayward, I would say, if you put him at 15, 20%, that would give you enough leverage. So yeah, I do like these guys as GPP options. Tatum here tagged at 25% and Wanamaker 8%, which I'm actually... It's kind of funny the way the public kind of reacted to the Wanamaker news. So 8% here, 6.2. I'll probably be a little bit overweight on Wanamaker. I know he's bad, but 28 minutes, I mean, against Atlanta, pace-up spot. We'll see how it kind of rates here at the end of the stream. I'll give you guys my favorite plays after we update, of course, all the Warriors and things like that. Let's go ahead and flip over here to Atlanta because Atlanta has a ton of injuries. They are in a 9-man rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, nine people. So let's go ahead and talk about them. What I did, TJ, because when I took all these injuries off the court, it gave me an extremely small sample size.
You got to get cute.
Yeah, so here's what I did, and I'll tell you this for my reasoning. I don't even think I talked to you about this yet. For Jeff Teague, Carter, all the guards on this team that are remaining, I took off Hunter and I took off Reddish because that makes sense, right? Because obviously we're going to see where the usage goes in the guard play. And then with the big guys, I took all the big guys off the court. You get the deal. So for me, it looks like Jeff Teague's going to be the most undervalued here at 3.9K. I think he's going to be a solid option here. I can actually see him as a cash option. Of course, I want to stop talking cash right now because I don't know how all these Warriors are going to be affected after we update all the values here. But Jeff Teague's going to be the guy that stands out to me the most. John Collins at 5.9 for me, point per dollar. I think he was like a 1.4 fantasy point per minute player for me. And then Vince Carter, your boy, 3.5, 24 minutes, 0.82 fantasy points per minute, I want to say, is what I had him at. 5.8 on our sheet. Graham, just a very bad player. I went with those projections on this because I didn't feel safe putting him at 0.5. I know he's getting 28 minutes at 3K, so I can't really turn away from that. Damian Jones, 30 minutes, 5.3 on our sheet. And then Trae Young, I think he was averaging 1.4 something fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court. 37 minutes. I don't hate him, but he rates the lowest here for me. What are you looking at as far as Atlanta?
So I definitely got cute when I ran my numbers too with Atlanta. For the guards, I took off Hunter, I took off Bembry, and I took off Reddish. And then for the bigs, I took off Jabari, I took off Alex Len, and I took off Fernando.
Okay.
So mine might be a little bit different because for the guards, I took out Bembry too. One thing to note when it comes to Jeff Teague, who I think he hasn't been very efficient since he got traded to Atlanta, but he did get the start for Bembry when he got the start for Reddish when Reddish got hurt in the second half. So when Reddish went out in the first quarter against the Mavs, Jeff Teague started that second half for Atlanta. He played 11 minutes in the third quarter and 10 in the fourth quarter. Didn't have a bucket. So the minutes are going to be there, and it's going to be an up-paced game against the Celtics. So I expect a lot of back and forth. Like I said, he hasn't been very productive. But at 3.9K, I definitely don't hate him as a cash play. Like you said, he's definitely undervalued, especially if he is going to get 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I definitely do not hate him. I think he's going to carry a very good amount of ownership, especially if he is deemed the starter. You touched base on Trae Young. Yeah, I'm not in love with him tonight. It's definitely a game where they might need him to score, so it could be one of those ballistic games. So I'll definitely be pretty not heavy on him in GPP, but maybe match the field a little bit overexposed.
Well, here's another note too. Marcus Smart's not playing, so that's going to take away that defense.
Yeah. He actually torched Marcus Smart last time they played in Boston. Yeah, he handled him pretty well. John Collins also handled this pretty well last time they played the Celtics.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't hate him. Gets a little bit of a usage bump, averages 1.31 fantasy points with all those other bigs off the court. Kevin Huerter, I don't really have too much interest in. Okay, so Trae Young will start. We literally just got that, so that's good to know. Damian Jones, at 4,400, I think the minutes are going to be there for him. He played really well when he got deemed the starter against the Mavs. He almost played 30 minutes, so I definitely don't hate him as a GPP play. The Hawks will start Young, Teague, Huerter, Collins, and Damian Jones. Okay. So, so I definitely do like Teague. I think he's going to be cash viable. I don't know if he'll end up in my lineup now with that. I want to see kind of what breaks down with the Golden State news with D'Lo being ruled out. Still waiting, Reggie Jackson, Detroit, stuff like that. So we're going to have to wait and see a little bit. But I definitely like Vince Carter again as a pump play tonight at 3,500. Should see those mid-20 minutes again. If he knocks down a couple threes, he should be able to hit value. And then I also kind of like Goodwin a little bit as a punt GPP play. The sample size was pretty minimal. I think it was only like 50 minutes. I think he averages 1.15 fantasy points per minute. He's definitely productive when he's in the game. And if he comes in and gets hot and Teague starts off slow, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets, maybe 22 minutes, 24 potentially if he does play well. So I'm definitely going to have some exposure to Goodwin as well in GPPs.
So overall, it seems like you agree with me. I think John Collins is a decent play here. I'm going to be slightly overweight on him. Draftkings, again, we'll see the way the percentage ownership kind of shakes out. But yeah, there's some sneaky good value in here. I do like Draftkings. But TJ, do you mind if we jump over to Golden State? I want to start computing values for them. I want to kind of start there because I want to see how that's going to shake up the slate, if you don't mind.
Yeah. No.
All right, let's do that. So, do you have an idea on it? Have you been computing values?
Yeah,
I mean, starting to talk about it.
Yeah, if Burke starts, I'm locking him in for cash. I would assume he starts at point guard for them. Aaron Holiday will start for injured TJ Warren.
Oh.
That's interesting. So they're going to run small and have Brogdon. Oh, wow. Jacob Evans will start for D'Lo.
Who will?
Jacob Evans,
Ooh.
G League star. That's crazy. He's just been riding their bench for a little bit. Okay, so that's interesting. So
real quick, TJ.
Yep.
If you guys are new to the stream, I see a bunch of people joining here. Thank you so much for the support. First of all, if you guys haven't already, first of all, 53% of you are not subscribed to the channel. Do you know how I know that? I looked at the analytics last night. I don't know what you're doing. But you better hit the subscribe button right now and if you do not have a YouTube account, make one right now and subscribe to us. Get those notifications, okay? Be the first to the live stream. We break down pretty much all the injury news all the way through lock and help give you an edge. A lot of people don't do that. We are dedicated. We do this throughout the day. Ask everybody in Discord. I mean, we have almost over 250 people, I think, in there in Discord. So, of course, guys, we are dedicated to this. So please, please, please show the support. Hit the subscription button. And, yeah, go ahead and start talking about Golden State again. Sorry.
Well, now we're going to have to wait and see what kind of minutes Evans is going to get. Because, I mean, at 3K, I kind of already – I actually excluded him from my pool when I ran numbers for Golden State. So I don't even know what his fantasy point per minute is with D'Lo off or what his usage is or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and compute that now. But like I said, I thought Burks would get the start. I still don't hate him, obviously, in that monster over-under against Washington on the road. So I definitely think he's still viable. I still think he should get 30 minutes against Washington, and it's definitely a really good matchup for them. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with Burks, make sure his minutes don't get affected by him not starting. But I'm kind of interested in Jacob Evans and seeing what his numbers look like with D'Lo off the court. So I'm going to see what's going on with that.
So here's what I'm looking at. I think Alec Burks is going to be a lock here, right? As you said, he's not starting, right?
He's not starting,
yeah,
but
he's
I mean,
playing.
If he still gets 30 minutes off the bench, then in this matchup, I still love him.
And we know how bad Washington's backups are, besides Troy Brown, my man. I mean, yeah, I think Alec Burks really becomes the only really, really solid option here from Golden State. I guess you could take a stab here at Poole at 24 minutes. Guys, keep in mind, all these guys do have a high ceiling, so I don't hate any one of these players, but I will say that really didn't hurt. That really didn't change that much as far as usage went. It basically changed the minutes. The minutes are what got adjusted the most. So it just goes to show you that really this team, they don't really have a solid superstar, even with D'Lo carrying the offense. So, at 114, I don't hate these guys, but I don't like him as much as I thought I would. I think Alec Burks is going to be your lock, though. If I had to pick a solid play to start here, Alec Burks at 31 minutes is always going to be productive. Real quick, thank you, Grayson, for the subscription. Thank you so much, Cashline, for the subscription. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I Draymond Green. What do you think about Draymond?
GPP play for sure, but not cash. I just ran Evans. He's only a 0.67 fantasy point per minute, even with D'Lo off the court. He's somebody that hasn't got a lot of minutes for Golden State. I know during like the middle of the season when they were butchered with all his injuries, he was getting some time, but he's been up and down through the G League. So not somebody that I'm going to go through to cash, but somebody that's starting at 3K that could get 20 minutes in this type of game. I'll definitely have some exposure to him in GPPs, but I'm not going to go crazy by any means, unless he's going to get 30 minutes. But I don't see that happening. I still think Burks comes off the court, runs that offense when he's in that game. And yeah, I think that I definitely don't hate Alec Burks now. I think he's probably a cash lock for me. We'll have to wait and see a little bit.
Ownership just shot up to 40.
Say it again?
His ownership just went up to 40.
Yeah, so I would assume that. I think everybody kind of thought he would start too. But as long as he gets the minutes, I don't care if he starts or not. He'll be in the game in the fourth quarter, ending it, and it doesn't really matter.
All right, let's start bouncing around to these other games with injury news. I want to get going here. We're running a little bit behind. So let's go to Dallas real quick. Dallas, we know Doncic. Yes. We know the big guys are out. What's up?
Porzingis, lock him. Go.
Yeah, Porzingis is a lock, but I want to talk about some of these other guys. It could be GPP options real quick. Brunson, very productive. Again, this is going to be a pace down spot. Guys, I do not recommend any of these guys in cash, okay, besides Porzingis. Brunson is very productive, could fly under the radar. Wright is still productive. He's showing at 5.2. Another under the radar guy, and Finney Smith is still at 5.8. Averages 1.14 fantasy points per minute. I know it's not a huge sample size, but it was over 150 minutes, I think. So 5.8, 6.1. I would plug and play a couple of these guys in my GPPs. Guys, I'm going to be slightly overweight on these guys. I mean, just look, Porzingis is 7K, and these other guys, they're just really cheap. I mean, and they're really productive. So I think it depends on who starts for Dallas. But I know that's always the factor with Brunson and Barea. But I think if Brunson starts, I think he's a very viable option here at 29 minutes. He could go over the 30-minute mark there. 6K, guys, that's actually a little cheap. I know it's a pace-down spot, but again, some of these guys could fly under the radar tonight for sure. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I remember when I did the stream on, I think it was on Discord. So that was Saturday, right? Yeah. So I did the stream on Discord when you weren't here. I talked about that whole JJ Barea and Brunson, debacle that Barea started against Houston. Didn't play that second half after his third quarter run. And then Brunson obviously started against Atlanta on Saturday. Barea didn't even see the court.
Yeah.
So I alluded to, I said that whoever's going to start, I like in that game. So Brunson started. He absolutely killed it. I don't really like him in this matchup against Orlando. I think it's against Indiana. I think it's a tough spot for this Dallas team on the road. I definitely like Porzingis. He's a cash lock for me at 7K. Very productive with Luke off the court. Yep. The only thing that was tough with him is minutes. And I mean, against Houston, he played 35 minutes, so that was great. He sat that back-to-back. He didn't play against Atlanta, so he'll be well-rested. I assume he gets 35, 36 minutes tonight, averages 1.38 fantasy points per minute with Luke off the court. Definitely a lock for me. Rates out really well on our sheet. I don't hate Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't think he carries a lot of ownership, but definitely a GPP play. Averages the 1.14 fantasy points per minute like Matt alluded to, and also he gets the biggest usage bump on the team. So I think that's pretty cool. Brunson at 6K, too pricey for me, but I definitely don't hate him as a GPP play. Averages 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Gets a little bit of, all these guys obviously get usage bumps because Luka's off the court. The guy that I really like, because Seth Curry's obviously out tonight too, somebody we didn't mention, but DeLon Wright at 5,200. I'm probably going to be overexposed to him in GPPs. Averages 1.08 fantasy points per minute. Should see 30 minutes tonight. It's a tough matchup against Indiana, but Porzingis cash lock definitely going to be chalky. I'm going to be overweight on DeLon Wright when it comes to GPPs. I'll definitely have exposure to DFS. I'll definitely have exposure to Brunson. But I think those are the only guys I'm really looking at. Maybe some sprinkles of Willie Cauley-Stein. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Real quick, guys, for the guys asking questions in the chat right now, we will get to them, guys. Let us cover the entire slate, and then we will come back to the questions. You guys know that's usually the format that we run. I go over all my favorite plays. I recap at the very end of the stream, so stay all the way through the stream, and I promise you guys will get all of the news that you need. I also want to say, guys, these guys are strictly GPP plays. Look at this, 1%, 5% owned, 0.25%. The rest of the guys are 0.25%. Porzingis is the only cash lock that I would say from this team. Again, these other guys are GPP options, and yes, I do like these guys for GPP plays. If they're really at 1%, guess what? I have 2% exposure to them. I'm going to be a little overweight on these guys, okay? So from Dallas, I do like these guys. Again, I'm going to cover all my favorite plays at the very end of the stream. DJ, I want to go on over to Phoenix because they excite me a lot. Ready?
Can we touch base just real quick since we're on Dallas? Let's just do Indiana quick.
Sure.
So we obviously have TJ Warren out tonight. I really like the price tag of Brogdon. It just stinks that Oladipo's back at 6,300. That's so cheap for a guy of his caliber. Like I said, I am a little bit scared off Brogdon, off Oladipo being back. They haven't been on the court too frequent since Oladipo's been back, so I definitely like Brogdon tonight. I think he's cash viable at 6,300. I don't know if he'll make my lineup, but I definitely like him. Averages 1.22 fantasy points per minute with Warren off the court. So he is viable. I just don't know if I'll get there. If he is in my cash lineup, I definitely don't hate it. But there's definitely a lot more value out there, so I just don't know if he'll make it. Miles Turner at 4,900. Matt, we talked about him. I mean, I was laughing this morning when I looked at him with Warren off the court. Gets a 7% usage bump.
Crazy.
Averages 1.08 fantasy points per minute. Rates out really well on our sheet. I'll definitely be overweight on him when it comes to GPPs. Again, I don't think he'll make my cash lineup. I think I'd be more opt to go with Brogdon over him. And then Justin Holiday was somebody that I was kind of interested in terms of GPP, but now that we have the news that Who was starting for? Oh, Aaron Holiday starting. I assume that Justin Holiday isn't going to start. I think they're going to go Brogdon, Holiday, Lamb, Sabonis, and Turner. So I'm off Justin Holiday now. So that's kind of where I'm at for Indiana.
Yeah, I need to adjust that actually, because they have him still at 29 minutes. They're going to adjust that. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think
he'll probably play like 26, 28. But if he's not starting out.
Yeah, there's too much value on this slate. Plus, Indiana, it looks like they were playing in a pace-up spot, but it's kind of adjusted downward. They're kind of playing an average spot at this point against Dallas. Turner, yes. Turner is very undervalued. I think he's a great GPP option, great GPP pivot at the center position. There's so many center options tonight. There usually is on any kind of slate size, but there's a lot tonight, and I think Turner is a great option at GPP. Definitely in the smash spot for me. Brogdon, of course, we've always been afraid, or we have been afraid of what Oladipo would do to Brogdon, but he hasn't been doing too bad. I think he's a solid GPP option here at 15% owned. I do like Brogdon, and then I'm off Justin Holiday now as we wait to see how much minutes he's going to play. But Sabonis is getting way up there in price tag. I don't really like Sabonis I just don't like him. I think 9.6 is a little too high for me.
Yeah, I think it's a slow. I mean, Indiana's bottom 5 in pace, so it's not like they're going to go out there and run back and forth with Dallas. So I expect it to be somewhat low scoring. But yeah, if I land on Brogdon for cash, I'm okay with it. I love Turner and GPPs, and yeah, that's kind of it.
All right. Phoenix. Somebody's saying you talk to. I don't know who talks too much, me or you. One of us talks too much, apparently.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's go over to Phoenix because I'm very excited about Phoenix. Just because they are very under. What are you laughing at?
I the message from B Dizzy that it's probably me. I talk too much. Sorry, B Dizzy. I do talk a lot.
All right, so with Phoenix, a lot of GPP options here, and my favorite GPP option on the slate, because this guy gets such a significant boost with all the guards off the court. He averages 1.5 fantasy points per minute. Can you guess who it is? It is Devin Booker. Booker has been playing as just sensational lately. 37 minutes. He has a high floor tonight because it's a competitive game. He's going to be in the game pretty much the entire game. He should be. 8.6 K is just way too cheap for somebody of this caliber. I think Devin Booker is going to be one of my favorite GPP options just because he's showing at 6%. Ricky Rubio, another great option, 5.5. He averages about a point per minute on our sheet, fantasy point per minute. 5.9 is what he's coming to be on Brodo. DeAndre Ayton, of course, we love Ayton here in the matchup. He's in a very good matchup. 35 minutes. All these guys I really do like for the Suns. I like Oubre too as well. It just looks like these guys are going to be playing in such a tight rotation, but the starters are going to be playing all game long. That's what really projects, and I feel like these guys have very high floors just in general. So I do like the Phoenix Suns, and if you guys find these guys in cash, I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. If you guys want to throw Booker in there as one of your last spots, it could definitely make or break you for 50-50s for sure. TJ, what's your thoughts on the Suns?
Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah, you're allowed to talk.
All right, sweet. All right. I love Booker tonight, man. I think it's a great matchup for him against Brooklyn. I'm not worried about a back-to-back for a young kid like that. Should see, high 30s in minutes. It's a great matchup. He averages 1.5 fantasy points per minute, like you said. I'm not scared that Rubio's back. Yeah, this is somebody that I'm definitely going to be overweight on when it comes to GPPs, and I'm talking maybe 60, 70%. He's definitely going to be my key guy tonight for GPPs, and if I land on him in cash, I'm cool with it. I really like Ayton, really good matchup for him. He'll definitely carry some ownership in cash tonight at 7,700. It's a good matchup against those Brooklyn Bigs. I like Oubre. I mean, Rubio at 5,500 is super cheap. He's not very productive. I feel like Booker's kind of taking the horns back. I know there was the early beginning, middle of the season, Rubio was definitely way more productive than Booker. I feel like that's kind of flip-flop back to Book. But at 5,500, getting 30-plus minutes against Brooklyn, averages 1 fantasy point per minute. I mean, do the math. He definitely should get value for you. I think he's cash viable, but I'd rather spend up and get Booker tonight. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with Phoenix. But I mean, we loved them yesterday. We love them again today. It's a great matchup. It's a good spot against Brooklyn. It's going to be very high pace. So no defense in that game.
Yeah, I love the Suns. And I love them more for GPP. What injury news are we pending right now for the entire slate? Because I feel like a majority of it's cleaned up. Are we still awaiting Detroit?
Yes, we are. We are still waiting on news from Reggie Jackson. We got Mikhailu still pending, and we still have Markieff Morris pending.
All right, so
Which kind of stinks because that's I mean, we can touch base. We can touch base on it right now.
on Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Need to find them first in this huge player pool or this huge team pool. For everybody that is new to the chat, new to the stream, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit those notification bells. We want to make sure you are first to the stream. Of course, we go all the way up through lock to help break down all the injury news to make sure you guys have all the best picks through lock. And sorry if whoever just said that they are here from Awesemo. I'm sorry that Awesemo's banned, but hopefully you stay around till the end of the stream and you can go right back. We don't want you here. Just kidding. We want you here. We want everybody here. We want everybody to help. We want to find. We'll help. We want to help everybody find the edge here. Okay, so we're gonna go all the way through the. We're gonna go all the way through lock, guys, to help everybody benefit with the injury news. Okay. TJ, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
So we're obviously still pending this news, which is really big. I really like Reggie Jackson if he is in. I know he's on a back-to-back. I don't see why he wouldn't play. He didn't play in a back-to-back. He played against Memphis in his second game back and then sat the next day against Brooklyn. He's played 4 straight games since. He played 34 minutes against Denver, which kind of makes me think that there's a potential he sits, but if he's in, I'm locking him in cash. I'm locking in Bruce Brown no matter what in cash. I love him tonight. And if Reggie Jackson sits, I think that's even more of an obvious play to start Bruce Brown. Both of them should carry some ownership if they're in, so I'm definitely on both of them for cash along with Porzingis as my locks. But with these guards, like if Reggie Jackson's out, I think that makes me like Drummond more. I think that means we're going to need more production from Drummond. And then if Markieff Morris is out, I think that gives a little bit of bump in minutes to a guy like Christian Wood. So, okay, that's Bembry being out. He was already doubtful. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. I know you'll probably have interest in like Tony Snell or Demboya. Like Demboya might start. If Demboya starts at 3K at the minimum, I definitely like him for GPPs. I don't think I'll have him in cash. So that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. I think Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown are locks in cash as long as Reggie plays. If Reggie's out, I mean, Bruce Brown's a lock no matter what. I'm interested to see who is out, because if, Mikhailou, we're still waiting on Mikhailou, obviously, like I said, and we're still waiting on Markieff Morris. So that means a bump in minutes to Christian Wood. I don't know how many minutes he would see because normally he comes in for Drummond. Maybe they put him at the 4 if Markieff Morris is out. They've done that before. So we'll definitely have to wait and see what goes on with Markieff Morris. It kind of stinks that they start at 8. Hopefully we get that news soon, but, you never know.
Yeah, I was talking about this thumbnail curse in the Discord. I made Reggie Jackson my thumbnail, and of course he is questionable. It seems like a reoccurring theme with Kyrie Irving and all the other injuries that have come out with my thumbnail. So hopefully Reggie Jackson does play because he is the best value on the slate, I think. I have to double check that. But Reggie Jackson on apps.
What was that?
What's up?
I just zoned out completely. What did you say?
I said Reggie.
I literally just.
I said Reggie Jackson is one of the best values on the entire slate if he does play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a lock to play. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bruce Brown is also up there. I think these guys are going to be cash locks 100%. Bruce Brown is super effective with these guys off the court. Obviously around 1 fantasy point per minute, and he's playing 32 minutes at 3.8K. Guys, these need to be cash locks. These guys need to be very high owned in all your lineups. If you're playing, if Bruce Brown here is at 36%, I'd recommend at least going 50% exposure. Same thing with Reggie Jackson. Also, thanks for the subscriptions, guys. Tim and Leo, thank you so much for the subscriptions. And I think Andre Drummond, we can't really talk about these guys until these injuries come out. That's what stinks.
Yeah.
So let's just hold off on that. I'm not gonna keep talking about these guys. But yeah, I think Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown, if the injuries don't change, are your absolute locks for this team, 100%.
Dizzy's happy because you're talking more than me now. So.
Wow, I might have to put a temporary ban on that. That's rude. That's just rude.
Hey, that's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, some people hate us, some people love us, some people hate you, some people love me, and vice versa. So I don't know. Just how it is.
That's what it is. Can't please everybody.
No. All right, so let's see. Anything else that we need to cover before I start crunching these numbers? Before I start breaking down my favorite plays?
Yeah, we got Philly out, who's obviously been without Josh Richardson.
Yeah,
if I'm going there, I think it's Tobias Harris, but I'm probably going to avoid that game. Miami obviously still been without Justice Winslow. They don't have any other pending injury news. I don't hate Jimmy Butler at his price tag. He's always right around 8K, so definitely a GPP option. We didn't touch base on this Orlando-Charlotte game.
I don't think you really need to.
That's really too enticing with that over-under.
Hold on.
Khem Birch.
Hold on. The window's at 28 minutes. Let me compute.
Yeah, so Khem Birch got ruled out. I mean, I know Matt probably wants to talk about a window a little bit. Definitely a GPP option at 3K. I definitely don't hate him. I know Matt will probably have like 50% of them tonight since he's starting. But that matchup is not enticing, playing in Charlotte. And then on the other side of the ball, PJ Washington out. I mean, Marvin Williams, Cody Martin, I'll definitely take some stabs at them in GPPs. But I expect Marvin Williams to start. But, I mean, I'm not going to have anything too crazy in that game. What else?
Like I said, I think that's it. So I'm about to break down all my favorite plays in just a second, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and look at Orlando one last time because I really haven't looked at them. It looks like Fournier actually gets a nice little boost here without Birch. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, Fournier. Where is he on our sheet? Yeah, he's a 6 on our sheet. Yeah, I mean,
they just updated the Indiana minute. So if you want to take a look at that real quick for me.
Okay. We always love Fournier though.
Fournier's the man.
Yeah, we didn't. Somebody asked about the Clippers. I mean, GPPs for tonight for sure against the Spurs. It's a pretty high over/under. Hopefully, it's a competitive game. I mean, the Clippers are 9-point favorites. None of them really jump out on the sheet. Obviously, I always love Kawhi. I always love Paul George. I always love Zub, but just the minutes are never there for him. If I am going to take a guy, I'm probably going to be on Kawhi in GPPs. I think he won't carry that much ownership in this 10-game slate since there's value everywhere else and they have a completely full roster. So I'll definitely have some stabs at Kawhi at 10-3 whenever he plays. I mean, I always love to roster him. And then on the other side of the ball, Spurs. Matt, any Spurs love? I mean, obviously, DeJounte Murray obviously sticks out at 5,200. I feel like we always go to him a little bit. Bryn Forbes, I mean, the minutes haven't really been there lately. He hasn't played well. He's kind of been getting passed over by like Mills and Derek White now coming off the bench.
I will say this about the Spurs. I think the only player I'm really going to consider is Bryn Forbes. 26 minutes. I mean, he averages 0.7 fantasy points per minute, which actually isn't that bad for a guy that just shoots. He's a good shooter. I mean, 3.1. It's a pace. It's an average spot for San Antonio, so I don't hate him. They're really bad against shooting wings. The Clippers are. So I do like Bryn Forbes as another value play. Aldridge, again, like 6.9 is going to intrigue a lot of people, but I'm not too intrigued by it. He just hasn't been as productive as he's been in the past. 6.9, I mean, he's fairly valued. If you want to take a stab at him, sure. But again, yeah, like you said, there's not too many people that really intrigue me here from the Spurs. Their full roster's back. There's a lot of value here tonight.
Yeah, you're biased. Forbes is trash.
At 0.7 fantasy points per minute. I mean, how much should we beat you by last game? If you want to keep talking, that's fine.
So I'm seeing a lot of things for Kevin Love too. I love his price tag tonight at 7-1. I think that's way too cheap for Kevin Love. I've rostered him, I think, twice in the last week in terms of cash. Good matchup against the Knicks. Should be a competitive game between two really bad teams. A decent over/under at 217. I mean, the Cavs are a 1-point favorite at home. So I expect it to be back and forth. And if you can get Kevin Love at 7,100, I don't hate it. He'll see those 30, 32, 34 minutes, averages 1.15 fantasy points per minute. So I can definitely get behind Kevin Love. I feel like I've said this the last 2 times I've rostered him. He's not somebody that I'm trying to roster in cash, but if I end up on him, I definitely don't hate it, especially in this spot against the Knicks.
Okay. Sorry, I was crunching some numbers. I was looking at some stuff. I have the summary here. What's up?
Bertans is playing.
Okay. So that really doesn't change much with the Washington.
They almost got a fully healthy team. Now they just have McRae out.
Yeah, they might actually win some games now. All right, so I have the recap right here in front of me. I'm gonna go over these plays. TJ, you can tell me if you can confirm or deny what I'm saying is true. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yep.
All right, so Reggie Jackson. Yes, right. But best play in the slate. He's going to be chalk. He should be a cash lock. I think Bruce Brown is also a cash lock. Devin Booker is another fantastic play tonight. He's more GPP viable. His percentage ownership actually went down, believe it or not. So 5.9 is what they have him at here for percentage ownership. I love Booker. I actually think he's a viable cash option at this point. I think he can definitely put you over the edge if you are playing a cash lineup and you get Porzingis, Bruce Brown, Reggie Jackson there. You can go ahead and put Booker in there. I like Porzingis. I like Alec Burks. John Collins, another great GPP option. just because he dominated the Celtics in the past. Obviously, they don't have any big men tonight. Tight rotation. We do like John Collins again tonight. I know we sound like a broken record, and he's been pretty neutral for us. He hasn't been bad or good, but John Collins, I think, is in another smash spot again tonight. Miles Turner, another great GPP option, and Ayton, another cash viable GPP option. Do you agree, disagree with those picks?
Yeah, I do. We need confirmation on Reggie Jackson. That's huge. It's just tough to say right now whether he's going to play or not. Yeah. I just don't like. I wish he wasn't off the back-to-back.
Now he's in the first game, right? So we should have.
No, they don't play till 8.
They don't play till 8.
Yeah,
that's gonna be frustrating.
They're playing in Memphis, so that's the only thing that's tough. I agree with most of what you said. In terms of cash, I think that my cash locks right now are gonna be Alec Burks, Porzingis, Bruce Brown. I think I'm leaning toward Teague, unfortunately, just because I like the spot against the Celtics in a pace-up game because Atlanta's at home. So I think those are my 4 cash locks for now. My 3 definitely are Burks, Porzingis, and Bruce Brown. I think those 3 need to be in your cash lineups tonight. If Reggie Jackson's in, I love him. I definitely like Jeff Teague. I'm not in love with the play, but he definitely could find his way into my cash lineup. I really like Tatum. I think he's cash viable, like Matt said and alluded to about DeAndre Ayton. Love DeAndre Ayton tonight. Malcolm Brogdon, another guy that I'm potentially thinking about rostering for cash. It looks like Dinwiddie's getting a little bit of.
Oh, yeah, we didn't touch on him. With Kyrie Irving out.
Yeah, so I mean, at 8K, I'm not in love with the play. More of a GPP play for me. Definitely should carry some ownership. Averages 1.24 fantasy points per minute with Kyrie off the court. Gets a 2% usage bump. So I don't hate him if I land on him in cash. Again, like Kevin Love, I'm not going to go out of my way to roster him. But if he's the last spot and I have the money for him and that's where I land on, I'm perfectly okay with it. I like Karis LeVert as a GPP play tonight, too, at 4,700. The minutes really haven't been there since he's come back from his injury, but he averages 1.01 fantasy points per minute with Kyrie off the court, too. Gets a 4% usage bump. So, Tristan Thompson just got ruled out.
He got ruled out? All right, here we go. Okay. Buckle up.
So, that is going to be interesting for a guy like Larry Nance, whose price tag is already not creeping up there, but he's, 5'4". But this kind of makes me cement Kevin Love as my lock now. I think that's going to put Kevin Love as one of my cash locks along with Burks, Porzingis, and Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now.
All right, so we're going to crunch some numbers for you guys that are new. Thank you so much for the support. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We go all the way up through lock, just about to go over any late-breaking injury news, just like Tristan Thompson here. So we talk about all of our favorite plays all the way up through lock, and we help give you guys an edge. So again, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscription button. We will go ahead and start covering a lot of these questions. I know there's a ton of people to get to here, but we're going to go ahead and start crunching numbers for Cleveland. Windler,
yeah.
Zizic is out still, and so is Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, Love averages 1.19 fantasy points per minute.
Nice.
Nance is 1.
Okay.
Where are they on my sheet?
Now this is going to affect the minutes, though. That's the thing. Wait for these minutes to update.
Sure. Nance is at 26. He should see 30, I would say. Love probably 35 would be my guess.
I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions while we wait for these minutes to update, TJ. Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit here. Boston and Clippers stack. No, I don't agree with that. I don't. Clippers are very overpriced.
GPPs?
I don't even like in GPPs.
Okay.
The Clippers are too overpriced. I don't care about Boston. I like Boston in GPPs. I do. Especially if they go over that, the pace of that game, which are projected at 115 right now. If they go over that, certainly they could all hit price tags. I don't like the Clippers, though. I really don't. I think a lot of them are overpriced, like Kawhi still at 10, even with Paul George back. Paul George is only playing 27 minutes, and he's at like 8K, or around there, 7 to 8K. The window is starting, yes. Elo is out, yes. Draymond Green and cash, I don't think so. I think he's a decent option. If he's one of your last spots, I don't mind it. But like I said, there's a lot of overpriced players in that game. With D'Lo being out, it really didn't affect the pitcher too much. Again, we like Alec Burks the most out of that game. Think he's going to be your cash lock.
Burks is your cash lock from Golden State for sure.
Damian Jones. I actually like Damian Jones tonight. I think he's a sneaky option. Again, I like a lot of these Hawks just because of the thin rotation. Damian Jones is definitely a GPP play, though. I don't really recommend him in cash.
So if Love sees 35 minutes, I'm locking him in cash. So and I like him more than Nance.
Yeah, Love is a good play tonight.
I definitely think this is a good spot for Nance too. I mean, if he gets the 30 minutes, so.
Hayward, a good question. Hayward, we touched base on earlier. He's going to be more of a GPP option. He is fairly overpriced. Again, if you're picking from these Celtics players, it's kind of hard to pick which one. Again, Tatum does show the best on their sheet, so Tatum is definitely the better option, I would say. But again, if you're filling one of your last spots for GPP, sure, I don't mind Hayward.
I really like Hayward in GPPs. I think he's going to have a big night tonight facilitating.
Young, Teague, Herter, Collins, Jones. Are you just asking questions on them? I think we covered basically that whole list. Young is probably the worst of those. We don't mind Young, but I think Teague, Collins, and Jones are going to be our favorite from that list. Boom, boom. Scrolling down the list here. How do you get into Discord? We dropped the link in the description. I don't know if it's still live. I know those links go away like every day, so I'll drop a new link. Guys, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter. I'll go ahead and drop a Discord link after we get off the stream. Favorite value plays. Let's go over favorite value plays real quick. I haven't been over favorite value plays.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce is going to top the list here. Reggie Jackson, if you want to consider him, value 4.7. Alec Burks, if you want to consider him. Miles Turner, another great value play. We didn't touch base on Melton, but I think Melton's going to be a little overpriced here. 20 minutes, 3.6. He actually is a very productive player. I actually was looking at his stats earlier, and he's actually pretty productive.
He's like a 1.2 fantasy point per minute. He is.
Yeah, so I don't mind him in GPPs at 20 minutes.
Did you say he was getting 28 minutes?
20, no, just 20.
Oh, God. I thought you said 28. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and Jeff Teague and Wanamaker are going to be the last two that I'll suggest. Do you like Delon Wright? I do like Delon Wright if he's one of your last spots for GPP. I think these guys are sneaky, these Dallas Mavericks. I know it's a pace down spot, but again, like these price tags are all adjusted downward, and I think they're adjusted a little too far down for me. I like Kristaps a lot. I think he's the most undervalued, but then there's some of these other players that just kind of, like Brunson. He's a very good fantasy point per minute player, so we still don't have that Detroit news, huh?
No. We do not have any Detroit news, unfortunately.
Yeah, guys.
And that's the big news. I mean, whether or not you're rostering Reggie Jackson or not. I mean, I'm probably going to lock him in cash, and then I'll have a pivot ready just in case he does get ruled out. And because I'm rostering Bruce Brown in cash no matter what. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter too much, but I'm going to have to figure out my plan if Reggie Jackson does get ruled out.
I think somebody thought you were serious when you said, "Am I allowed to talk?" Like. Pretty mad. So no, guys, you don't get his personality and my personality. We know when we're joking around. I'll tell you what, some serious fights that we get into are off stream. You'll never see it on stream. Don't worry, we're not actually fighting.
Unless you want to see Matt get bodied, we can make that arrangement.
Or do 50 push-ups. TJ can do 50 push-ups again. Watch his team get bodied. Will Rubio play? Yes, he's probable.
Yeah, Rubio's probably.
We need Michael Jackson news. I don't know what that means. Julius Randle. We haven't talked about Randle. Let me go back and look at them. I think there's still pending injury news for them. But again, it shouldn't shake up too much.
We're good on the Knicks. Just not really too much interest. I mean, with TT being out, that's kind of makes Randle, a little bit more intriguing.
That price tag 8.6. I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, the 8.5 price tag is definitely fair for him, but I'll definitely have some exposure to him in GPPs, and I kind of like the matchup a little more now with TT out.
Did the minutes update yet for Cleveland? I don't think they did.
Nope.
Do you like Brown if Jackson's out? We love Brown no matter what, and we love him even more if Jackson's out. Absolutely. You lost money listening to Awesemo. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll tell you what, Awesomo's really good with his statistics. I just don't think he paints the whole picture on the streams. I think that we do. We give our favorite plays, and we take hard stances. That's one thing that we do, guys. We take very hard stances, and I'll tell you what, I'll either win you a lot of money or nothing at all. Like I said, I'll either win, I'll take down the GPP, or I'll come in dead last, and I do not care. If it's one of those two, I will take losing a third of the week if I'm gonna win. I'll take losing 2/3 of the week if I'm gonna win a GPP 1/3 of the week. I take very hard stances on my GPP plays. Like I'm gonna be very overexposed to Bruce Brown tonight and Devin Booker. I don't care if it makes or breaks me, but I think that's a very solid play tonight.
But Osimo is incredible.
Yeah, no, he's very smart guy. I listen more for entertainment. Ah, that's cool. That's the first that's the first feedback that we've gotten like that.
Entertainment? Well, yeah, I mean, that's obvious.
Because of you, though.
Yes, of course.
Funny looking. Nice ASU shirt. No, I don't live in Arizona. My girlfriend actually graduated from Arizona State, so she did her master's program on there. I actually went to Arizona for my first time about 2 months ago. It was unbelievable. I love Arizona. It was just like...
Hey, nice brag. Nice brag. We're back to the guys. Back to the sports, man.
Okay. Yeah, no. Arizona is fantastic. I think it's very relaxing over in Arizona. We have about 5 minutes here. I think we're gonna go over a little bit, or at least I am, to make sure we don't get that Detroit news for you guys.
All right, I'm gonna rifle off a couple more of these questions that we got here at the bottom. Eric Pascal, GPP play, definitely. Not for cash. Somebody that you don't want to be overexposed on. We need the Reggie Jackson news. Yes, we do. Booker, Burks, Troy Brown Jr., I'm assuming. Kristaps, Turner, Wright, Tatum, Ayton for GPP. I love that. Not too high on Troy Brown, but all the other guys I really love. Is Lock a GPP? That's what I was going to say. Is Lock a GPP love? Is Love a GPP lock now? I think he might be a cash lock for me now. If his minutes get bumped up a little bit, I definitely like him a little bit more with TT off the court. So definitely more intriguing now. And Nance is starting too, so that's not a bad option as well. Discord is like Fight Club. We don't talk about it. Yeah, we don't talk about it. Can't talk about it. Booker versus Brooklyn. Yeah, we love Booker tonight, man. He's a really good spot against Brooklyn. Rates out really well on our sheet. Thoughts on Robinson? Mitchell Robinson? I mean, don't love him. GPP play for sure, especially with TT out now and him coming off the bench. They're not going to really have any bigs to come off with Zizic out. I think they'll probably run Henson against Mitchell Robinson, so that could definitely be a matchup that they could expose with Mitch coming off the bench. Him or Draymond? I'd probably go Draymond. Oh, or unless you're talking about... Maybe you're talking about Glenn Robinson. I'd go Draymond. I don't know. I just went around. If you guys want to think about rostering Mitch Robinson, there you go. DK guards less than 4-4. Teague the best option. For cash, probably. Who else is cheap? I mean, I've seen Harrison Barnes get thrown around. I know he's a forward. I would probably go to Teague or Bruce Brown. If you don't have Bruce Brown, I would rather go Bruce Brown over Teague, but I think those are your two options in terms of cash. Dorian or Brunson. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. Matt, I don't know if you agree with me.
You said Brunson or him?
Yeah, if it's cash, I like Dorian Finney-Smith.
I think if Brunson's starting, I mean, it's a toss up.
It's a very tough call. I kind of like Finney-Smith a little more, but I think Finney-Smith has more upside, but I think Brunson's the safer play. Collins or Porzingis? In cash, Porzingis.
So TJ, real quick, I'm computing Cleveland.
Last one. I'm sorry, last one. Alec Burks or Miles Bridges? Alec Burks, 1,000%. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick, I'm looking at these minutes. Michael Porter, no, sorry, not Michael Porter. Kevin Porter from Cleveland is getting 29 minutes, and he's actually pretty productive. I'm liking him. I'm liking him as a nice GPP play if he's coming down at 4%. I think he's a 6.2 now on our sheet. Just kind of want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have too much exposure to this Cleveland game.
Yeah.
I think I'll take Kevin Love and run in terms of cash, but yeah, I mean, if he's going to come off the bench and get those kind of minutes, then for sure, I would definitely dabble on him in terms of GPPs. Let
me see how he rates real quick, guys, for everyone watching. I'm going to see how Kevin Porter kind of rates amongst these value plays real quick. I'll give you a nice little GPP play here. If Kevin Porter is actually getting 29 minutes, that's actually not a bad spot for him. So Kevin Porter averages 0.82 fantasy points per minute. None of these Cleveland guys kind of stand out in general, but 0.82 is not bad. 22.4% usage, again, not bad. Kevin Porter.
I think in this situation, I personally would rather go down to I'd rather pay up for Sexton.
Yeah, Sexton's not a bad play either.
Yeah.
Yeah, he averages over a point per minute.
All right, let's Tatum or Love. Oh, that's so tough because I'm so biased because I'm a Celtics fan.
No, definitely Kevin Love. Come on.
I don't know, man. It's such a good spot for the Celtics going against Atlanta. I think Kevin Love's a safer play in terms of cash, but I would probably I don't know. I gotta stay out of that one. They're both very good.
Kevin Love. I think it's Kevin Love because of ownership too.
I think you're gonna be surprised at Tatum's ownership tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he's showing at 23. I have him matching the field. I kind of like that. I want to match the field and all these Celtics players just because they're so frustrating. I don't know who's going to do good for them.
LaMarcus or Porzingis? Porzingis.
Yes, Porzingis 1,000%. Porzingis should be a lock in pretty much all your lineups. I'm going to be overexposed to him. I'm showing 85% right now, but that's going to be adjusted.
Alana, I like that GPP lineup that you have. I feel like that's the second time we've seen Troy Brown. I'm not really high on Troy Brown tonight, especially with all of the Wizards guys coming back. I know they're all going to be on a minute restriction, but it's going to take away from Troy Brown's minutes. So at 5-2, I don't really like it. If you can, I'd rather rearrange my lineup and get like Alec Burks in there because I know Alec Burks is 5-3 and Troy Brown's 5-2. So
TJ, I'm mad at you right now.
Why?
I need to reel you back into Cleveland. Are we not going to look at Henson? Henson, 23 minutes. He averages 1.09 fantasy points per minute, 25.07 points. Comes out to a very, very good value. Why are we ignoring him?
The last time I rostered Henson, he didn't even enter the game.
Well, yeah, but they don't have Zizic now.
I know they don't have Zizic. They're out Zizic. It's a good lineup against the Knicks. I definitely don't hate it. I think it's a sneaky GPP play. If you're looking for a salary saver, I wouldn't hate him. But yeah, not for me, but for GPPs as a punt, Matt, I can get behind it at 3K for sure.
I'll tell you what, some sneaky plays that I just kind of dug up. So Henson and Porter are going to be sneaky. I know it's not a high over-under game. I know it's Cleveland, but again, without TT, those minutes have to be sucked up somewhere. So again, Kevin Love's going to be the most obvious one. I think John Henson, obviously, I'm not going to have 43% exposure as what it's showing me right now, but I'm going to have at least a couple lineups with John Henson for sure.
Everybody keeps screwing me up because they're saying Bruce because it's Bruce Brown Jr. And I keep thinking I'm so used to seeing Troy Brown Jr. Okay, yeah, then I like that. Sorry. Love Bruce Brown. Keep forgetting he's a junior.
What's going on, guys? We are reaching new records right now. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. And honestly, if you haven't already, guys, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. We are one of a kind. We help break down injury news throughout the day, all the way up to through stream. And we do this all day, every single day. We love DFS, guys. So if you haven't already, please show your support. Please hit that subscription button, and please be first to the live streams going forward. We want to show you guys what we're made of. We want to show you guys the success that we've recently had, especially last week. I've had a takedown. I won $2,500. TJ was right behind me. He was probably more mad at me because he would have probably earned a little bit more. But guys, we are crushing it. Okay. Again, it's been very humbling getting this many subscribers, this many viewers recently. So I just want to say thank you. And again, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really means a lot. All right, Matt, so I just want to touch base real quick again on my cash locks for tonight. It's so tough that we're still penning this Reggie Jackson news. I'm definitely going to have a backup plan. I'll have Reggie Jackson in my cash lineup to start. I'll have a pivot ready in case he gets ruled out. But I'm locking in Bruce Brown. I'm locking in Alec Burks. I'm locking in Porzingis. I really like Teague as a value play tonight. I really like Tatum or Kevin Love. If I can get one of them, if I land on both, I'm okay with it. We never really touched base on Drummond. I think it's a really good matchup against Memphis. If Reggie Jackson sits, I think it even makes me on Drummond a little bit more just because they're going to need more out of him. So I definitely don't hate Drummond if you land on him tonight. I think I'd rather go with Ayton in terms of cash. Matt said John Henson. I'm not even going to mention him for cash, but maybe somebody if you land on Ricky Rubio, I'm cool with. But Bruce Brown, Alec Burks, and Porzingis are my cash locks. I really like Ayton. I'm cool with Jeff Teague. Markieff Morris is rolled out.
Okay. Is that coming out now?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the subscription, Jonathan. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to go over this injury news real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get off, answer some last minute questions here too.
Well, we might get the show Reggie Jackson. Why are you going to give us Markieff Morris and not Reggie Jackson? All right, so I feel like that. Oh, another tweet. Please be Reggie Jackson.
Probably will.
Reggie Jackson, a game time decision. Okay. That's absolutely incredible.
They're going to get so much hate for that tweet.
I know. I kind of think he plays, even though it's on a back-to-back. He played 34 minutes. If he didn't play 34 minutes,
even more so now with Markieff Morris out, because they're going to have a very thin rotation if he is out. That's not going to make any sense.
I think if Demboya starts, I think that makes him a nice GPP play at 3K. I mean, they should start Christian Wood next to Drummond, but they probably won't. But yeah, Bruce Brown, Burks, Porzingis, locks for me in cash. If you land on Tatum, I'm cool with it. I really like him. I really like Kevin Love. I like Brogdon at 6.30, even in that terribly matched game for an over-under, which is way too low against Dallas. And I definitely don't hate Jeff Teague in that up-pace game at home against the Celtics at 3,900. I think he's cash viable. And then DeAndre Ayton, too. Really good spot against Brooklyn. So I think that's kind of where I'm leaning right now in terms of cash.
Sorry, I'm looking at these Detroit.
No, you're good. I just can't. I mean, you knew it was going to happen. Reggie Jackson's the one guy that like everybody just needs. Everybody just needs to know in terms of if they're in or not. And of course, it's. Yeah. You know, they won't break it till. I feel like this is going to be one of the things where he goes through shoot around and, we won't get it until like 5 minutes before lock. That'd be my guess.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So I will say this, guys. First of all, if you're playing single entry, I would limit what you're playing in these early games, because if that Reggie Jackson news does come out, that's huge leverage against the field. If you're playing single entry, for your MMEs, for your MME guys here, I would also limit it, but I'd be ready for these pivots. I'd be looking for pivots off of Reggie Jackson. All these Pistons would be viable options if Reggie Jackson is ruled out, and like Mikhailu's still questionable here. So I mean, this could really shake up the Detroit picture here. Again, like don't feel like you are gonna be if you're gonna be aggressive on Detroit, that wouldn't be a bad thing. I would be overly aggressive on Detroit if the injury news does come out and it happens to be Reggie Jackson and Mikhailu being ruled out. Okay, so these minutes will be shifted upward. Obviously, Bruce Brown would be the auto lock. I mean, Tony Snell would be a viable option at that point. Demboye minutes would go up. Galloway would be a very very viable option too. And then, yeah, I mean, the center minutes would go up too. So even like Christian Wood, he's going to get some minutes here. We're waiting for the minutes to come out, and that'll help give you guys a better picture on what Detroit looks like as of right now. But yeah, Gold, thank you so much for the subscription. LSVT, thank you so much. Eugene, thank you so much for the subscription. TJ, what are your thoughts right now? What's going through your mind?
Just Reggie Jackson, man. I want to get to a couple more of these questions that I see. Ayton and Wanamaker, or Turner and Brogdon. I mean, I like both of those because I really like Ayton. I'm not too high on Wanamaker, but he is starting, so I can definitely see myself going with that option. I think that option's going to be more chalky in terms of cash. I think Turner's more of a GPP play tonight, even though he's in a really good spot. And if I had Brogdon or Hield, I would go Brogdon. So I definitely like that Turner-Brogdon pairing for GPPs, but I think Ayton and Wanamaker's a safer play for cash. Turner and cash, I mean, Matt, we love Miles Turner tonight, but just that matchup as a whole isn't too intriguing. I think there's better plays, even though he rates out really well and he's in a really good spot. I definitely don't hate him.
Yeah, like I've said this many times, there's so many options at the center position, and cash you kind of have to play the chalk because that's where the highly owned guys will be, like Porzingis at the center position. DeAndre Ayton at the center position is going to carry a lot of ownership. You guys need to look elsewhere for like positions with a lot of different options. With not that many options, but you can find leverage. So like Devin Booker would be a great play at 6%. So that would be a nice little cash play pivot if you're looking for a last spot. Alec Burks obviously is going to be in there, but yeah, I don't think Miles Turner he's more of a GPP option, a very good GPP option at that. But I think he's more, you're right, more towards GPP, not so much for cash.
Somebody asked Aaron Holiday now that he's starting. I just don't know what the minutes will be because Oladipo's back. I get he's starting, but I don't think he'll see those like 30, 32 minutes that he was getting when he was the starter for the Pacers. Now that Oladipo's back, that'll definitely eat into his minutes. I think I'd rather go with Teague, where I know the minutes will be more secure and he should get 30. I think Holiday is definitely a more productive player, but I'm going to go with the minutes, and I would personally say Teague over Holiday.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's safer.
I agree.
I saw somebody with a Herter lineup. I'm going to be honest. I think just because he's so unproductive, that's the one player that I would hesitate on for Atlanta. I think everybody else will step up because they get a minute boost and a slight usage boost. But I think, man, Herter's just a shooter. I like the guy, but at 5 point whatever, I think he's 5.4, something like that. I think it's just a little too pricey for me. There's a lot of options at shooting guard position tonight. A lot of options everywhere. But I mean, Devin Booker is going to be my play tonight at shooting guard for GPPs.
I'm telling you right now, I'm putting 60% of my GPP lineups on Booker.
Yeah,
so
I'm putting 50, so I'm right there with you.
My night will be made on my guy Booker not.
Yeah, again, guys, we're still waiting a couple bit of injury news. Do you think it's gonna get? If you think it's gonna come out, TJ, or no?
No,
okay.
Before lock. I'm telling you, he's going to go through shoot around, and that's my guess. Do you still like Justin Holiday? No, not that he's starting, coming off the bench now.
I'll answer some last questions here because we are running over in time, and then we'll go ahead and get off, guys. Wood for Detroit. Yeah, so I still have to wait for those minutes. I think what I will say, guys, is nobody is going to be a bad option from Detroit if of course Reggie Jackson is ruled out. So Demboye still at 23 minutes, Wood still at 16. It doesn't look like the minutes are updating. I'll keep updating.
They'll definitely get a bump. Demboye definitely a good GPP play if he starts at 3K. But they should start Christian Wood. I mean, they should start him next to Drummond. That's what they should do. They should do that even if everybody's healthy.
There we go.
Yes, Thon McClure, welcome to the pool, Thon.
Don't tell me I'm gonna like Demboye.
Yeah, see, 30 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah,
GPP play. I mean, people will probably roster him in cash, unfortunately, which kind of stinks because I don't want to see that, but because I have my cash lineup now. All
right, guys, I'm going to compute my values one more time. I'm going to run through my favorite picks one last time before we get off stream here. Christian Wood.
Yep, Teague starting, Morris out, Wood for Detroit. Yeah, Sierra, I mean, they should start. Wood should start. I don't get why he doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. He's only projected 20 minutes now, so I don't think he's cash viable. GPP play, definitely. But Fox and cash.
Interesting.
I like it.
Is there a worse player in the NBA than Tony Snell, or what do you think?
In terms of production when they're on the court?
Yeah. Who's averaging 0.29? There's somebody, wasn't there? That was literally averaging.
That's physically impossible unless I'm in a starting lineup for the Boston Celtics.
I thought there was somebody that bad.
I would average negative 0.8 fantasy points per minute. Or just turn the ball over every time. Nance and Cash, we keep getting that. I don't hate Nance and Cash. Like I said, I think I'd rather take Kevin Love and be on my way in terms of cash. But I definitely don't hate Nance and Cash at 5-4. It's a very good matchup. Very good matchup against the Knicks. So.
All right, TJ, we have to go. I have to make my lineups too. So, sorry guys, if you're still waiting that Detroit news, just like us, stay tuned. I will be available on Discord. I'll also be available on Twitter. We're gonna tweet out some of our favorite plays once that news does break. So I'm sorry that we didn't get it on stream. I know we're trying to hold on to the last minute there, but again, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscription button. We want to see you again tomorrow for the next slate and going forward. So thanks guys for tuning in. TJ, any last words?
Good luck, guys. Hopefully Reggie Jackson plays.
Yeah, 25% is what he's showing that right now. So it actually went down. So yeah, if you guys want to look at my screen one last time, go ahead and take a screenshot. Take a look at this. Go ahead and take a look at these last minute plays here. John Henson's ownership did go up, by the way. Why Henson left 23 minutes, 1.09 fantasy points per minute. That's why we love Henson. Well, for GPP. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.